Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the breakdown of the World Cup. That's right, the World Cup is here, and today I'm going to be going over days 1 and 2 of the World Cup, giving a recap and my thoughts. I'll be doing my best to try and do this every day, although I won't be as consistent as I do have some things planned that might get in the way of that. So let's start with the opener, Mexico, South Africa, and it did not disappoint. Within 9 minutes, we got the first goal. We had more red cards than goals in this game, and we had, honestly, almost everything you can ask for in a game, you know, some good goals, some good refereeing. I don't think there was any wrong decisions with any of the red cards. I think both the South Africa red cards were definitely red cards. Maybe argue that the Mexico red card wasn't really a red card, but at the end of the day, it didn't really matter. Vibes in the stadium were absolutely electric from what I had seen. You know, the goal music for Mexico is probably the best goal music that I've heard at the World Cup so far. I think that's really cool, very fun. It's electric. And then unfortunately I had to wait until 10 p.m. for game number 2, but that was also vibes. I'm gonna go into a rant about this more when I talk about the next game, but it's also in this game, so I'm going to mention this now. South Korea, Czechia, good game. South Korea played very well. They deserved the win the entire time. Conceded the set piece goal, and they didn't let their heads drop. They picked up and they went and they scored 2 goals and came back and won the game. And I thought it was a well-deserved win. I thought they played well. I loved seeing all of the videos of like South Koreans in Mexico and them really enjoying it, and the stadium being filled with South Koreans and Mexicans both just enjoying the atmosphere and stuff. I think that's really cool. I think that's really fun. I've been enjoying just the World Cup in general so far, just seeing the vibes, like, especially in the first day, the Mexican national team and the party. It's just happened down in Mexico, so I think that's really cool. And then today was the first 2 games for the other 2 host nations, starting with Canada and Bosnia and Herzegovina. Canada seemed really unlucky not to win that game, not to get something more than just a point. Credit to Bosnia and Herzegovina, they were very resilient with their defending. Never thought I'd see Kolasinac in Big 2026 be the hero blocking that goal, but that defense was a brick wall for a lot of that game. You know, it took something special, really, from the Canadian national team to break down that team to score a goal. I mean, good intricate play at the top of the box, just a snapshot. Unfortunate deflection for the defender, but, you know, it was good play, and they deserved that goal. Honestly, they deserved a lot more. And this is where I'm going to get into this rant really quickly. I've heard a lot of discourse, particularly with English people, like English, not British, because I haven't really heard with like Scottish people complaining about this, about the complaints of the World Cup expanding from 32 teams to 48 teams, talking about how lower quality teams are just getting in a lot easier, and they're citing Curacao and Cape Verde without really understanding what it takes for them to get in, how they've gotten in, the level of quality they actually possess, and why it's actually a good thing that the World Cup's expanded to 48 teams. My thing is, when they talk about all of these terrible quality teams and how they don't really deserve to be in here in a normal 32 team World Cup, which is not true, and that they're ruining the quality of the World Cup by expanding it to 48 teams. Do you include those lower tier European nations like Czechia and Bosnia and Herzegovina? Because those 2 teams, I'm sorry, those games were fun to watch because it's the World Cup and it's fun to watch and it's fun to see, you know, all of these nations enjoy themselves. But those 2 teams played like Arsenal, but not as good. They just had low blocks for the entire game. They sat back and they scored jammy set piece goals. That's what they did. That's all that they did the entire World Cup. out of the 360 minutes, 180 of those, minus the stupid ass ads for the water breaks, 180 of those were watching teams sit back in a low block. European teams sit back in a low block. These are the teams supposed to, possess quality. You have players that are recognizable. You have, I know Dzeko didn't play, but you still have Kolasinac on Bosnia and Herzegovina. You have Patrick Schick. I watch the Euros. I see these teams. I watch European sport. But they're like, are these the teams that you're complaining about? Because I haven't seen you complain about it. It feels racially motivated in a sense. There's like, oh, these shitter African teams and CONCACAF teams that aren't, they don't have the quality of the higher class European teams. Because at the end of the day, what it really is imagine you top your group, and in qualifying, you play all these teams, you go to all these different climates, and you try really hard, and you get there, you top your group, you do all that's needed, and now you have to play another team that topped their group to get into the World Cup. It's essentially that. For me, it's like, if listening to them, I just want to sit down and say, hey, you English fan, okay, you guys just won all of your games and didn't concede a goal in qualifying. Great, now play Spain home and away. One of you will make it to the World Cup. That's what it was. That's why 48 teams is good. And I'm sorry about the glare that keeps popping from the light. I'll fix that tomorrow. But yeah, it's been really tough to watch these teams just sit back and defend like they're Arsenal and just score a Jamie Seppi goal and be happy with that and just let it go from there. But now we have to talk about the U.S. The game just ended less than 5 minutes ago. They were insanely good today. Like, 4 goals, 2 from Balogun. Balogun, like, Paraguay are making Balogun look like a world-class player. I thought that Paraguay were going to score, and they did. And I'm glad that they did for my predictions. But just for their sake, I think scoring a goal in the World Cup is always an exciting thing. And I do think that they deserve to be here, and they could arguably still finish third in their group, but they've got a long way to go. And credit to the U.S., they showed up at home, the crowd was roaring, and they took it full advantage of that. It's the best U.S. national team that I've ever seen, Unfortunately, they're making Alexi Law sound reasonable. Like, he's talking about, oh, the U.S. can win it. It's like, they can go deeper than I expected. They can play really well, especially because they've got a home crowd on their side. But, like, man, they defied everybody's expectations today. Nobody expected 4 goals. Everybody expected a rough, gritty performance that they would eventually win, but they dominated, especially in that first half, man. Balogun scored quality goals. The goal at the end to make it 4-1 to just cap it off with Gio Reyna, that was pretty good. I'm pretty excited to see what they have to do, even though I don't really have like a rooted interest where I'm like, oh yeah, USA, they're gonna go all the way. I don't know, it's just interesting to see the host nations perform well, and I think all of them did in their own right. I think Canada will probably have the toughest time of the 3. Mexico might top the group, might not top the group. All comes down to how they play against South Korea, but I have full faith that if Czechia are just going to continue to sit back the whole time, Canada will definitely go through. All 3 of them will go through, right? 2 of them have wins already. They only need 1 more point, logically. 3 each going to get that. Canada we'll see how Qatar comes out tomorrow against Switzerland. I don't think they'll top the group. I didn't think they would before. They might even finish 3rd, but I just don't have faith in this Bosnia team. Watching them sit back the whole time, I don't have belief in them to go far. It's the same thing with the Czechia team. Now, granted, I did think originally that they were going to be, last place. But that was just rooting for an African team well before they excommunicated themselves with Africa and South Africa. And they really performed really poorly. It was a successful hate watch for all of Africa, I have to say. Their I mean, I'm looking at both of those teams sat back most of the time, South Africa and Czechia, but Czechia did it much more effectively. You know, they might even feel hard done by losing in the end of that, but South Africa fully deserved to lose. That wasn't even close. And then you have, again, Bosnia and Herzegovina. They'll be fine. They'll be fine. They'll play Qatar. They'll probably win, and they'll play Switzerland, and that'll be a tense game as well. Paraguay, I mean, we'll have to see with Turkey and Australia, but it's not looking good for that. They got dominated by the U.S., and the U.S., now they have a real shot to win the group, not on, outright. I don't think it's going to ever be like 9 points winning the group, topping the group, but they scored 3 against Paraguay. They draw against Turkey. They win against Australia, and all of a sudden 7 points with plus 4 goal difference at least. Who's not to say that they won't top the group, But that's all I have to say about it today. So just stay tuned, and we'll have more to talk about tomorrow. And I'll fix the glare, I promise. All right, like and subscribe, and I'll see you.